Black Keys? The band? No, the physical keys. In all honesty, I ain't got a clue how to play the other ones. A rule of thing for me is play one key, miss a few, play another, play them back and forth, and it'll usually sound like you know what you're doing. I mean, I'm no Mozart, but a fish can dream. You know they've got the name, don't you? Who? Mozart? The Black Keys. Mate was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He'd leave incoherent messages on their answering machines, referring to their fathers as D sharps. And the White Stripes? I guess someone had to play for the other team.
What note am I?
Something flat.
Oh, charming. I want to create something that makes you feel. Me? No.
Me?
No, someone. Something that makes someone feel.
Well, what makes you feel?
A dirty bass line? A sexy saxophone? A voice. They've got to feel the music where their bones meet their flesh, you know? Forever captured by songs of pain, of love, of desire. Not in the words, but in the feelings. Everything leaves their bodies in a moment of song, of beauty and imperfection. Deep voices of chain smokers risk losing all sense of soul at the suck of a strepsil. Crusty. Broken headphones crackle in my ear like Rice Krispie jazz.
It's the rhythm for me.
Yeah, the bass line.
I can feel it. I can feel my neurons syncing up to the beat of the music. It's warm and it's pumping, moving, slithering, sweating.
It's hardwired. Someone said my skin was beautiful the other day.
You thin?
No, my skin. And I just thought, what? This glow? That's pure sweat. Pure salty, sticky sweat. I'm so self-conscious about it now we're above sea level. It didn't matter so much in the water. Now my forehead glistens like a glazed Krispy Kreme. Where does your forehead even begin? You can talk.
When does anything begin or end? We sleep to the beat of our sun that rises and falls. We maintain the rhythm, REM. Our breath steady, repetitive, in and out. Every part of us rhythmogenesis. Every part of us rhythmogenesis.
If you think of what you are too hard, you'll lose every sense of form and turn to mush. But the bass line does that without even making you think. You get lost without trying, surrendering yourself to the tiniest tap of the toe.
Our muscles contracting, everything feels in sync.
NSYNC.
Music allows us to feel the dynamic interplay between the actual and the possible. Every part of us rhythmogenesis. Our body's internal pharmacy releases chemicals at the tickle of a song.
And the rhythms. The rhythms unlock memories, bringing me back to forgotten places. What places? I remember pulling records from relatives' dust-ridden attics, imagining how they twisted and turned through their living rooms and kitchen interiors, 70s, 60s, 50s.
Kanye recycled Ray Charles, so our generation could dance to it too.
That's time travel. When I die, I leave songs as gifts in my will. Dear my love, please take the house, the kids, and most importantly, Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon. Ah yes, a staple of Frankie and Benny's restroom soundtrack. And to you, my darling daughter, I leave to you the greatest gift there is. Gossips, standing in the way of control. I remember staring out of the window on school coach trips, listening to an iPod Nano, dreaming to the voices of noughties pop idols, Madonna, Gwen Stefani, Missy Elliott. You can listen to a song 1,000 times and that one time it hits you in the chest like a bullet, opening you up to its meaning. You don't just understand everything about it, you understand everything about you too.
CD players only exist in cars now. The act of playing a CD is simultaneous to the act of driving. The brain begins to recognise music on a disc with travelling to a destination.
There's a song I've been listening to all night. There's a voice I am hearing saying it's alright. When I'm happy and I'm sad, but everything's good. It's not that complicated, I'm just misunderstood.
Give me a reason to love you. You gotta relate, babe. You gotta find the rhythm within. Floorboy slides up to me and he says, "Hey sister, you're moving too fast. You're screwing up the quota. You're doing your piecework too fast. Now get off your Mustang, Sally. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere." I lay back, I get my nerve up, I take a swig of a Miller, and I walk up to hot shit, dot hook, and I say, hey sister, it don't matter whether I do labor fast or slow, there's always more labor after. She's real Catholic, see? She fingers her cross and she says, there's one reason. You do it my way or I push your face in. We need you in the John if you don't get off your Mustang, Sally. If you don't shake it up, baby, twist and shout. Oh, that I could wear the radio here. James Brown saying, I lost someone, or the Jesters and the Paragons, and Georgie Woods, the guy with the goods and the guy with the missiles. But no, I got nothing, no diversion, no window, nothing here but a poke hole in the plaster.
Alright, calm down. I think GCSE drama.
Stop being insecure. We're allowed to feel things, and deeply. You can be clever and funny and feel things, you know.
You always have to cringe at everything meaningful. I know. I can't help it. I watch you swim past buskers at tube station corners, and I can tell you feel something. Like you really feel something. It doesn't matter if their guitar is out of tune, or their voices poke you in the eye like a blunt needle. I can see you starting to tear up at the thought of a public outcry. These buskers form significant snippets to the soundtrack of your commute. But for me, I just cringe. To me, they feel like magical guides, like the type that come along to the river at night for public contemplation.
You know it's 75% water. Why else do you think our mood changes to the moon? It's our inner tides.
Yeah, we're pretty wet, aren't we?
When we sing with our mouths shut, the sound is transmitted through our skull bones directly to our inner ears. The sound transmits itself through the soft tissue of our bodies and through the hydraulic waves of our inner systems.
How do you feel on a full moon? Powerful. I mean, I'm not a werewolf or anything, but I do have to resist the urge to do a little howl. You haven't got the vocal cords for it.
Our hormones roar at the sight of a full moon, the perfect time for reproduction.
The moon looks like a toenail tonight. What does that mean for us?
You always have to make everything feel less romantic, don't you?
I reproduce to my Spotify weekly.
I stopped with all that. The more I listened, the more each song became intertwined and tangled with one another. It turned into a pool of lost genre, of complete mush. It made me forget what I even liked anymore.
Mine knows my music taste more than I know the freckles on my back. It reassured me of my love for neo soul and outed me as being in the top 0.2% of Duffy listeners.
What does Warwick Avenue taste like? What does it taste like to rain on your parade?
I don't know. Sometimes tea tastes like river water. You mean dinner? No, like a cuppa. Oh, you're always saying dinner for tea. Is dinner lunch then? No, dinner is dinner and tea is tea. And well, lunch is lunch. You're making me hungry.
I miss the unexpected treats of passers-by dipping their hands in, running their fingers across the surface, a curious foreplay with the murky waters. We'd suck their fingers dry like germed-up battered sausage, every molecule making its way down our esophagus. Our muscles contract to the waves, pulsating, digesting.
Sound waves or water waves?
Both.
We unite with the rhythm.
Swing music of the 30s incorporated the pace and the timings of factory machines, whilst also swinging against them.
Resistance. Rock and roll.
Those workers in the factories connect with one another through the communal voices of a radio, soothing the passing of slow, alienated time, everyone working at the same BPM that continuously played through decades of production. This was the culture of staying alive. The radio allowed for a change in pace and rhythm of our thoughts, making the repetitive actions bearable. The popular prescription of BGs extended to life-saving medical procedures. Pound the chest at 103 beats per minute, or, if you're needing to perform on the higher end, it's recommended to pound the chest to Lady Gaga's Just Dance, coming in at 119 beats per minute.
What if I told you Steps didn't write tragedy? I'd say my life has been a complete lie. A tragedy.
Music scenes developed in industrial cities, a coming together of communities. Grime music and pirate radios formed on high-rise estates due to the architectural ability to broadcast far and wide, and hip-hop a product of community centres, bridging between generations, stories and history. You know when you yawn, I can see every part of you. I see the back of your throat, your teeth, your gills, your flesh, your fins and your scales. I see your heart and your soul. I see your bass, your trout, and those pellets you had earlier, the gobbled up pieces of history sodden in your stomach, your little maggot brain. I see rusted screws and nuts from those who wished upon a bike, and copper from those who wished upon a coin, or 2 coins, or 3, tossing them into the riverbed and finding cracks amongst the mattress of rum and pipes, stolen phones and empty wallets. We inhale the junk of our journeys. A whole country's lost property lay at the pit of our stomachs, creating a cocktail of past, present and future, a living, breathing archive.
I wondered why I had so much gas.
Regurgitating lost souls.
Sometimes these things are hard to swallow.
We grow with the history.
You've grown.
You too.
What did it feel like to take another form? To change from this wet, misshapen being?
My tail split like a headache. and nuggets of flesh began to grow, toes stretching out, reaching the ground, the grass, the carpet, a cold wooden floor. They hang off the end of the bed through the gaps of the metal frame, thin splits of fingers, reaching out. It feels soft.
I see it now, I see it.
I reach into my pocket, and the bag that once held my cheese twist lay there limp and crumpled. It was wet from the river rain that seeped through the stitching. I held hands with it for a while, stroking its soggy little thumb whilst rain soaked into the fibres of the fabric that now covered what I could only describe as legs. The rain felt misty like the spit that gets pushed through your front teeth, refreshing for the first few seconds, then bitter cold apple sours, the type that hurts from the inside.
The ground remains wet and sexy. Blessed by the rain,
Baptised by the waves.
rolling on a river.